If you're on social media and you don't feel safe on your social media, you feel that people are always watching you. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is omoladeokaiyeto and I focus on faith, travel and reviews. I'm feeling a little bit sweaty. I've just come back from the gym and it was actually a good workout considering the fact that I forgot my headphones. I literally forgot my headphones. That's like the worst thing to do when you need it for the gym, but luckily there was no music playing, so I was able to still work out and hear my clothing video, and it was a great workout. But anyway, forget about my story this morning. It is morning. I like to work out in the morning, but anywho, I'll be doing a video on coercive control. And to be honest, I found out about coercive control last year. It was, you know, pointed out to me about it, and I was questioning, like, do you know about it? And I was like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, this is a new term to me. So I thought it would be really interesting to do a video about it. And before I get into this video, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. Please support a sister. I would really appreciate it. The button is just below. Okay guys, let me give a definition because I can't continue this video without giving a definition. So what is coercive control? So coercive control is an act or a pattern or acts of assault, threats, humiliation and intimidation or other abuse that is used to harm, punish or frighten their victim. So that's the definition of coercive control. Alright guys, did you know if you are experiencing coercive control, did you know that you can actually report it to the police? It is a crime. So if you are experiencing coercive control, it is a crime. That shouldn't be happening. It should not be happening to you, and you can actually report it to the police. Right, so coercive control, again, it can happen in gangs. It can happen in relationships, it can happen in religious institutions, it can happen in family, it can happen with friends, so it can happen everywhere, as you can see. So I just wanted to like point that out. Also, the reason why I'm doing this video is because of course I've experienced coercive control in a religious institution, and this is why I felt to definitely do this video. Right, but the video is not going to be focused on me. It's to inform, educate, and I have my list to give you examples of coercive control. So first example, well, first sign is putting you down. So are you in a situation where you're always being put down, you're never uplifted, everything you do you're always put down for it? If that's the situation, that is definitely a sign. Next one, humiliation. So are they always humiliating you, making you feel embarrassed, humiliating you in front of others? Whew, if that's the case, then boy oh boy, that is definitely a sign, and that's not on. How do you feel when you're being humiliated? Like, it's not a nice feeling, it's a horrible feeling. So that is definitely a sign that you are experiencing coercive control. Verbal abuse is verbal abuse. Are they always shouting / yelling at you? Because shouting and yelling at you is not on, and that is also a form of verbal abuse, and no one should ever be spoken to like that. Like, I always have this thing in my head, always treat others the way you want to be treated, and if someone is shouting, yelling at you, then that is also a red flag. Another one. Are they name calling you? Do they name call you? If they do, nobody should be name calling you. Yeah? No one. If you're in an environment and they name call you and they just say certain things, ooh, then that's definitely one to like look out for. It's so subtle because sometimes, like, when you're in environments, you feel like it's normal, you think it's normal, you think it's okay to experience these things because you're just used to it, but no, that shouldn't be tolerated. So if you are experiencing name calling, then definitely give it a food for thought. This one right here, this one right here, and we're grown adults, you know, this is where I get so like confused. Like, we're big people, but anywho, invading your privacy. Why are they invading your privacy? Your privacy is your privacy. It is none of their business. No one should be invading your privacy. And that is weird. Like, to me, it's like they shouldn't be invading your privacy. And again, it's all about the control. It's all about the coercive control. It's all about having access to your life. And that access doesn't belong to them. The access belongs to you. And that is it. This is a really interesting one. So, punishing you for not going along with what they say. Have you experienced that before? Where maybe you mentioned that you don't feel comfortable, you can't do that task or that particular thing, and then they punish you. They punish you to teach you a lesson and to discipline you. It's really weird, and that's control. Like, why are you being punished because you don't feel comfortable to do what they say or to go along with what they say? And that's another form of coercive control. Okay, this one is just so creepy. Anytime I hear stuff like this, I just find it so bizarre. But monitoring your activities. So if you're on social media and you don't feel safe on your social media, you feel that people are always watching you, looking at what you're always getting up to, and you're feeling monitored by that particular individual or environment, that is really creepy. I always wonder, like, that's one thing that I can just never get, when your activities are being monitored. Like, every move, every step, everything that you're doing, you're being monitored. Not even just that, maybe like you could just be walking on the road or going to an event and you feel that you're being monitored. You feel that someone's watching you. If they see you in certain places doing certain things, you're going to get reported or you're going to get in trouble. So you just don't feel safe. You don't feel comfortable in your own space. You don't feel comfortable to just be free and do you. You feel that your activities are being monitored, so you're having to be extra careful and cautious about everything that you're doing. So that one, very, very creepy. They make you feel that everything is your fault. They don't take any accountability. They don't take any blame. They shift the blame on you and make you feel that everything is your fault. And you even believe it. Like, that's the worst thing. Like, you believe, even though it's not your fault and it's their fault, you believe that it is your fault. And then you start questioning yourself. You're like, okay, maybe I could have done that better. Or you start to give excuses. Or you're like, okay, you know, next time I'm going to make sure that I don't do it again. Or even though it's not even your fault, like, make it make sense, guys. Like, just make it make sense. So they make you feel that everything is your fault. Don't take any accountability. Narcissism at its finest. Narcissistic individual at its finest, or environment. That is it. So that is definitely one. And similar to one of the points that I mentioned before, but it's denying your freedom, guys. You are free. You are a free individual, and it's when you are noticing that your freedom is being denied, you just don't feel free. You don't feel like you can do anything. You feel that you're always under some kind of control, and that's horrible. That's suffocating. It's like you're in a cage. It's like you're in prison and you don't feel that you're free. You don't feel that you can do anything that you want to do. And that's the worst thing, you know, to feel that you feel stuck and, you know, there's no way out, and you just feel that you just don't have any freedom at all. And that's just one of the worst situations to be in. And isolating you from your support system. I've heard a few stories about certain individuals that I know where they were isolated from their support system, and that is horrible. Like, your family, your friends, if you're into therapy and they isolate you from all of those things, and when you are feeling down, or, you know, you're suffering with a certain thing and you need help, you need support, but you don't have that support because all those ties have been cut, that is actually scary. So they do that. They isolate you from your support system, and again, that leads to the codependency, that leads to the dependency on that individual or that environment, where you only depend on them and that environment, and they are your support system, when really they're not. They don't really have your back like that. And, you know, I can go on and on with this subject because there's so many things, you know, threatening behavior, gaslighting you, controlling your money. There's so many things. This subject is so big, and I could go on and on and on. And if you're in this situation and you're thinking, okay, how can I get out of coercive control? How can I do that? Well, again, I think the first step is recognizing the signs and accepting that you are going through it. But the thing with coercive control is very difficult to accept that you're going through it. It's very hard to identify it because you normalize it, right? You think it's normal. It's behaviors that you're used to, especially if you've been experiencing it from a very young age. You know, you've gone through grooming stages, and if you've experienced it for a long time, you can think that it's normal, and that is not your fault. That is not your fault, and do not blame yourself. Do not blame yourself if you are a victim of coercive control. Going back to your support systems, the support systems that you cut, going back to them, definitely going back to that family, that trusted family member, that trusted friend. Going back to your support system is definitely key. Even if you were in therapy as well before, going back to that as well. Support system is really, really key. It's that foundation to freedom, I would say. If you have to notify the police, definitely doing that. And do not be afraid to come up with a safety plan. If you need to come up with a safety plan, do not be afraid to do that. I always believe in backup plans, always believe in a contingency plan, and a safety plan, definitely coming up with one, is a really, really good way to come out of coercive control. Right, some heavy stuff, a lot of things to definitely think about. It is a really, really deep subject, and it shouldn't be taken lightly. No one should ever minimize your experience and what you've gone through. I always say this, I have gone through coercive control, and this is why I can speak so boldly about it. But it's not one to be taken lightly. And if you are going through coercive control, please seek help. Please do get out of the situation, get out of it. I really hope that this video has been useful. Heavy, I know. On that note, is there anything else that anyone would like to add in the comment section below? Please do so. Please, we're free to have open discussions. We shouldn't be afraid to have discussions about subjects like this. But anyway, guys, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you support a sister. Until next time.